So let's continue here. So we have the forest created. So let's go for the routing and remote access services here. So before that, I just wanted to show you something which is very important. Always, when you are going to add more configurations to your servers and to your clients, it is very important for you to take a snapshots. Okay, so it's a kind of a backup here you have. So snapshot one, it would be um, domain controller motor and internal networks thing, thing. Right, so take a snapshot of it and you go to your Windows here. So this Windows, again, you take a snapshot of this Windows, that to the domain. That's what we have done for your Windows client. Right, you have to power on to take a snapshot. Let me power on the client as well. There is one thing which we still wanted to look over here, so let's finish this the snapshot, and then let's go and do that one, because in Windows we have added the VMware. We have added the VMware tools, whereas in Linux we haven't added the VMware tools. We don't want it because we are using an SSH connection to work on it. But still, in case if you want to install VMware tools, then there is a different procedure for us to do. So let's go here, take a snapshot of here in IP configured internal networks, right? And I have this one with a snapshot 1 IP configured internal external ping locally, right? So it is very important so that if something goes wrong, so you can go back and reset it. Okay, and the other thing here I would like to tell you is about where your VMs are stored. So usually you have your VMs stored here. These are the client machines which you have. This is where we have all our files which are installed. So I would strongly recommend you to take a copy of it as well. So this will be really essential for you, and it will be very important for you in case if the computer is collapsed or if any files has been deleted. So if you have a backup of this machines, you can attach it to a different one as well. Okay, so these are some of the things which you have to be careful, and that is your responsibility to take a copy of your virtual machines as well. So we don't have our virtual machines here, but usually you will be having all your virtual machines here in this VM box, and then you have a .virtual box. So these are the two files which you have to copy because this had the head tags onto it. Okay, so in case your machine is not working, your virtual box collapses or whatever happens, these are the things which you have to have a copy so that you can restore it in a different machine, or after installing a different version of your virtual box, you can still work on it. Right, so let's go in to this Debian machine, and you can just go here and oh, it says reinstall VM tools, so I think the VM tools have been installed here. But anyways, I will tell you how to install the VM tools. Let me check here. VM. Yeah, I think the VM tools are installed here. So in case you want to install it, so you can mount your director. So you make a directory cd-rom sudo. So let's go to super user, then make directory mount cd-rom. So you have mounted the cd-rom. So now you can mount the cd-rom to this folder, mounted as a read only. Yes, it is read only. Now you can copy the files from your mount cd-rom only if you have your VMware tools. So we don't have the VMware tools here at the moment. Yeah, so we don't have. If we have, we can mount it and then we can copy it. Right. Okay, so now let's go back to where we are. So here this. So we are going to install routing and remote access service. This is group 2.1 because we have finished our group 1 here. Here we don't have a routing and remote access service. We have to work on IP forwarding, and then we have to add this network to the Debian client domain. So that we will do it once we have established connection. So we will do this part first, and then we will go back to the next one. For that, we go to our server. We have created a couple of users as well. So anything you're going to add to your server, it is through add roles and features, role based. Select the server because you might have only one server, and here you could see that the Active Directory domain servers are installed and the DNS server is also installed. We haven't, even though we haven't installed the DNS server, we can still it is still installed along with the directory services as well. So you can install DHCP and configure DHCP server as well. We will do it after this. So here we go for a remote access. Next. Nothing here. Next. Here we go. The direct access and VPN. Routing is remote access services, and then routing. We don't want web application proxy for our topology, so it is fine. We don't want to install it. If you want to install it later, you can come and install it later as well. So next. Pretty much everything is selected. Next, and you install. So it will take a while again for us to install. Once this is installed, okay, while we are still waiting for it to install, let's go to this one. Then let's see how the network connectivity is. Ping 192.168.1, which is the server, it pings. And if you want to ping 10.0.0.1, which is the other interface of your server, which is here, this is the other interface here, 1.1. It can't ping, so it can ping successfully here, but when you ping here, it can't ping because it doesn't know that, because it is a different network, so it's not aware of that one. Okay, so what here we have to do is we want to promote this server to act as a router. Okay, so we are not creating a new router, we are not adding a new router, but we are asking the server to act as a router to forward the packets from one network to another network. what routing and remote access service is going to do. So here you can see that it is request timed out, which is it is not working fine. So it says the configuration are required, installation is succeeded. Let's close this and go here, and you can open to get started. So here we go, deploy both direct access and VPN. So you can either go this way, or usually what I do is I go and say routing and remote access as an application. Here we go. You can see that it is on a red light, which means it is not configured yet. So let's right click, configure and enable routing and remote access services. Next. So here, either you want to do a remote access or you want to do a NAT, you want to do a VPN, you can select any particular task which you want. For me, I would select a combination of this. So I will go for a custom configurations. I would like to do a VPN access. I would like to do demand dial connections. I can do a LAN routing. I can do a NAT as well. So I do this. Okay, if you are not going to create a VPN, then we can do a LAN routing, and then we do routing services like RIP. We can use RIP to route it for a LAN routing. But because we want to use VPN here, we know that we are going to use VPN. That is part of our task here, to do VPNs here. So we are not adding LAN routing. You can try it in your topology on that, and then I finish it. So it is asking me to start the services. Let me start the services. And here we go. So we have our routing and remote access services, and if you want, we can go and configure our services. So let's do a NAT now. At the moment, right click, new interface. You know, NATing is network address translation. So I have an external network, I have an SDC LAN. So if you want to see which one is that, go to general. You could see that SDC LAN is 192.168.1.1, which is your local facing network, and you have an external which is 10.0.0.1, which is the external facing one. So new interface, the external one, give OK. It is going to be a public interface connected to the internet, enable and apply. Then you create another one, the local. So you give an STC LAN. It's a private interface connected. Right. So which means now you have a NAT. So let's go to Windows here. Ping 10.0.0.1. It can ping, because now what happens is this NAT is enabling you to ping successfully to the other network. Let's see if it can ping the other network. Yes, it can ping the other network as well. Let's see if it can ping 192.168.2.1. It can't ping because it doesn't know where 2.1 is or where 2.10 is. Okay, because we need to establish that connection. Right. So you can go in here, create a new interface. Oh, sorry, you go to the network interface here, new demand dial interface. Next, and then you can create S2S VPN, or you can Swansea Cardiff VPN. And then next, you want to do a VPN here. Next, you can select a point-to-point tunneling protocol. So usually a point-to-point tunneling protocol is not an industry standard. However, it is a simple way of connecting. It has less security. It is outdated. If you are in a security module, if you are going to select a point-to-point tunneling protocol, it is not going to be valuable. However, here we are just trying to understand it, so it is okay for you to do a point-to-point tunneling protocol. Now you have to give the IP address. So you are asked to enter the IP address. So it says enter the IP address or the IP address of the router you are connecting to. Okay, so which means you are now trying to connect to an IP address which is where you want to connect it. You are trying to connect it. Okay. So here in this case, our endpoint would be this one, 10.0.0.2. That's the IP address which we would be like. That's the IP address which we wanted to connect. So let's go back here and say 10.0.0.2. That is a host which we wanted to try and connect. So next, you want to add a user account so that they can dial in, and say next you want to add a destination IP address which should be 192.168.2.0, and then it's 255.255.255.0. You can give any metric and then you give OK, right? And next, so you are asked to give a password. So this is the password which you can use it to configure the site-to-site VPN. Okay, so next, so here it asks for a username which you wanted to give. So this could be the username of the dial out. So if you want to dial out, you need a username which you wanted to give, right? So let's use the same thing here. Swansea to Cardiff VPN as a username, then give a password here. Then next, finish. So now you have a one-side PPTPT point-to-point tunneling which is configured here. All right, so this is how you configure site-to-site VPN, and then you can work on. However, I'm not going to use point-to-point tunneling at the moment. Maybe I will be using a bit more secure one. Right, so we have different VPNs which we can work around. So site-to-site VPN, and typing in to Windows Server. So you can VPN to use. So here, if I just go and Google it, I could say that for you to set a site-to-site VPN for a Debian to a Windows, you could use the flexible option of OpenVPN. You can go with OpenVPN connections, or there is another one which says WireGuard, which you can use to connect it. So in this case, let me go and try WireGuard so that I can use it in both Windows and in the Debian as well. Okay, because we haven't configured site-to-site VPN, you still get you are not connected to the VPN at all, right? So for that, I want to use WireGuard. I want to download WireGuard. I don't have internet connection here, so I have to go back to the server settings and add another network adapter, possibly NAT adapter. Let's see, config. So I have a NAT adapter up and running, and you can see that the internet is connected. So let's go here to Google. And let's say WireGuard download. So here is the WireGuard. So I just go to WireGuard, and then here you could see that I have a installer for Windows. So let me download this WireGuard downloader. All right, so here it is. I'm looking at the top to get downloaded. So show in folder, you could see WireGuard is installed. The installer is downloaded. I double click it. So this is WireGuard. So I can go into this WireGuard and configure it. So what we are going to do here is, so we are going to configure VPN from this point to this point. So this is going to be a kind of a tunnel. That is going to be a tunnel, right? Let me make it very neat. So from here to here, I'm going to configure a VPN connectivity between these two machines. Okay, so which means I have to give both the endpoints. I have to say that this is my one point from where it has to be tunneled to the other endpoint is here, right? So that what happens is I configure all my static routings and all my IP forwarding within this tunnel using this VPN. So this would be my VPN, and here for this VPN, I'm using WireGuard. So in some of my previous videos, you could see VPNs from Windows to Windows. I might have used a normal site-to-site VPN, point-to-point tunneling. You can refer to that. It could work with Windows and Linux server, but a bit of configurations need to be modified or changed, right? So here we are going to use WireGuard. So I've installed WireGuard here. So I will configure WireGuard at this end, and then I will go to this server and I will install WireGuard here, and then I will configure this end so that both the ends, once they are configured, they both gets connected, and then the connectivity is established between these two networks. This is the idea which we want to work around. So let's go here. If you already have configuration files already existing here, you can just import it and use it. Do you want to use WireGuard for your VPNs? No, it is absolutely not mandatory for you to use WireGuard. You can use OpenVPN, you can use point-to-point tunneling. It's up to you to choose which one you're going to use. Just for here, I'm just going to show you a demonstration of what to use. So I just add an empty tunnel, and here I will be telling you which I'm going to create a new tunnel here. So I say X1C Cardiff VPN, and here you have a public key. So if you can go to this WireGuard, you could see what are the quick start here. So how you can configure WireGuard. So what is so you see a demo here. So you can follow this instructions. You can see uh, uh, what are the different requirements you have. So it needs an interface and it needs a peer. So you can connect multiple peers here. You can see that there are two peers here. So you can connect multiple peers. So in this case, for us, when we are configuring our WireGuard here, this would be the interface. So this is what would be our interface. And this would be our peer. This would be our peer. Okay. So and then you could see that in the interface, you want to give the public key, a private key. The private key is from the opposite side from the other interface, and the public key is from your public key. The same way, you go to the peer, you give the endpoint. Sorry, the public and the private keys are generated by WireGuard. Then you also have to give the pre-shared keys. Okay, pre-shared keys is from the other peer which you want to um, add it to, so that you can establish the connectivity. And then you can set up a port. So sometimes the ports may be a problem, a port may be not used, so you have to come up with a different port as well. And then you can set up your IP tables, IP rules. Then once you have done all those things, and then you could see that it is all done. So you need an NATing, you need firewall configurations to be modified. And then so if you see this documentation, you can get some idea. So I'm referring to this configurations so that I can get the details here. So this is the first thing. So this is the configuration between two peers, peer A and peer B. So they are generating the private key here, and then they will be generating their public keys here, and then they will exchange the keys as well. So you could see each step-by-step process here. So you can look at this and you can see this documentation. Usually looking at the documentation and working on it would be really good for you. So you autonomously you could be able to configure your network. So here in this case, this is the VPN which we are going to work on, and you could see that there is a public key and there is a private key as well. So from here we will start the configuration and then we can move forward, right?